Welcome to the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Unfiltered laughs, honest conversations, and everything in between.
This is your backstage pass to the best moments from Ryder and Lisa.
On demand.
Powered by Always Plumbing and Heating.
Came across something yesterday online and found it quite interesting. People seemed very passionate about it. It had to do with how you dispose of soup when you're done with it. Because a lot of Canadians will flush it down the toilet. And apparently Americans have never heard of this before. I would say I would if it's a certain soup. If it's a bisque, no problem. If it's potato leek, I don't know. It depends how big the chunks of potato are. I guess when you really think about it, you kind of say, well, could I push that out of me? And if so, will it flush? Like, right? You kind of determine what the soup looks like to see if it kind of matches some of the sizes and shapes. Anyway, that's too much information, but yeah, people were right fired up about it. I often don't have leftover soup. I make it a goal to finish my soup, and that means leftovers too. Just get it in you. I don't care if I have to eat soup 4 days in a row. If I make a big batch of soup, I'm going to eat it. So I don't have this problem all that much, but back to the size and shape. I wouldn't put Ichiban noodles down, and that might be because I have trauma. Maybe you have some as well from when you were growing up and eating raw Ichiban noodles, and some kid in your class would tell you you're going to get worms. Remember that they'd grow once they're in you and then they'd turn into worms? Or did I just have like really messed up people around me in my life? So the idea of the noodles growing after they're in water, even if they're cooked, would probably keep me from putting Ichiban down there. Plus, it's like the string shaped, it would get caught on things, in my opinion. That's probably not true, but I just don't think I'd flush Ichiban. Chicken noodle soup, no problem. Maybe not if you made it with rotini. You know? Hit me up with your opinion on this, because like I said, people are getting pretty fired up about it. We are answering the heavy questions today. Do you flush soup down the toilet? The percentage of Canadians that do this, I don't know the exact number, but from what I can see on the text line and online, very normal practice in Canada. And I'm even getting some verification that it's not the worst. This says, I'm a certified Red Seal journeyman plumber. There's no scientific, engineering, or sanitary reason you can't or should not flush soup down the toilet. Cold, though. Never hot. Let it cool. Don't know why. Don't understand the science behind that, but if you say so, no problem. Hearing some other suggestions that do make sense. Straining so that the liquid goes down the sink or whatever, and then you take whatever the solids are and throw those in compost. That makes sense. Apparently in the States, they have things called soup holes. I'm not kidding. This is a common thing in the States, that you have a hole in your backyard that you bury your soup in. Why do you do that, though? Doesn't that sound stupid? Do you not have coyotes? If I buried soup in the backyard, my backyard would be a new playground for wildlife. Another option in the States that people do, they bag their soup and then take it immediately to the dump. If I pulled up to the dump here and they said, what are you dropping off? And I said, this bag of beef and barley, like they'd probably call the cops on me, saying I'm too unstable to be out in public driving. Soup holes and bags of soup to the dump. Just flush it. Just flush it. If you can throw up in a toilet, like that's almost exactly like soup. I wanted to go through some of the tweets I've come across the last 24 hours. This is just to showcase that the world isn't all bad. The rest of it can be a bit of a tire fire sometimes. I cannot believe how people can turn absolutely anything right now into a political debate. Saw a video with Jason Bateman at the Dodgers game last night with his daughter. Looked like they're having fun. I think the second top comment just tees off on Bateman. Oh, I got it right here. Nothing more humble than a wealthy Hollywood star touting his wealth with an expensive seat, all the while proclaiming his, oh, shucks, I'm just a regular guy, progressive lefty. Like, what? absolutely everything can be taken for a turn towards the political. So here's some joyous things that I discovered on Twitter. From @Krazazzi. Going to dress up as a printer for Halloween this year so I can give everyone a hard time and refuse to work all day. Great idea. @Gary Bedso. An interaction with his wife. It was like a screenshot of their text conversation. And she said, "Can you preheat the house? I'm on my way home." Must be worried about being cold. He responded with, "What are you, banana bread?" That was great. And then @Plur Princess writes, "I saw someone walking around with a sweatshirt that said Malibu on it, and I thought, damn, she's an alcoholic for sure. Until I remembered it's actually a place and not just a drink. And I, in fact, am the one that needs to stop drinking." Just watched a video of a woman who looks like she may have purchased a large team cooler, you know, like the orange Gatorade jugs, that kind of thing, at Costco, and then had it in the cart lid off at the pop machine and was getting jugs of what looks to be like lemonade and pouring them into the jug, into the cooler. And I first watched it, and I was like, that pop's going to get unfizzy real quick. So, like, that's not the smartest move. But, yeah, upon further investigation, maybe lemonade could be iced tea. Smart move. It's a brilliant move, really. I mean, they're going to check what you paid for on the way out. They see the cooler. You paid for the cooler. But also, that's so greasy, and it's why things like the free relish and free onions that we used to get are gone. Now, I think you can ask for onions still. But it's just people taking advantage of the system isn't the best, because then they change the system and it screws everybody who is being respectful with it. So I disrespect what this lady's doing, but also that's pretty smart. One person in the comments section raised a good point. They said, what if she was getting, 20 hot dogs for her kids' football team at $1.50 each? That's a pretty good deal. Easier than hauling a barbecue out. You just go and get each kid a hot dog, and then you measure out one drink per kid and put it in the jug, because you're not going to carry out 20 cups of soda, So maybe there's nothing to be upset about. There are some couple breakups that you're like, yeah, saw that coming, and it doesn't have any sting to it, Like J-Lo and Ben Affleck, even on the second time. You're like, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. Like, they already tried it and it didn't work. What are they doing this again for? And then after their breakup, I read a quote from J-Lo that said, like, she's never felt more free. What do you mean? You already divorced that guy once. Didn't you feel that free last time too? So that's what I'm saying. And then there are other celebrity couples that you just kind of root for, because I think you root for love, right? You want love to win sometimes. And so to hear Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman after 19 years of marriage called her quits was kind of sad to hear, because it seemed like they had it going. They broke up, and Keith Urban with a bit of a low blow. Just a couple nights ago while on stage, he altered one of his lyrics for the song The Fighter. Now, it's kind of hard to understand what he's singing here. I'll play it and then I'll break it down. All right, so the original line was, when they're trying to get to you, baby, I'll be the fighter, which was a song that was inspired by Nicole. He changed the lyrics to, when they're trying to get to you, Maggie, I'll be your guitar player, giving a shout out to one of the members of his band. Yeah, I don't know. This is a slippery slope. After a big breakup like that, public breakup, if he's just playing around, no problem. If he's joking and maybe him and Nicole have some good ex rapport, then it's all good. But feels to me like this is a bit of a jab, and then she'll come back swinging, and it could get ugly. And there's kids involved. You don't want it to get ugly. I don't think there's ever a bad time to take the high road after a breakup, unless they're a total turd. Like if they're an awful person, do your thing. But if it seems like it's a reasonable breakup, even bad-mouthing the person behind their back. Just, if you can avoid it, probably better for your soul not to get involved. So I'm interested to see what happens here, because this feels like it could be the first of maybe some public chirps to each other. And I don't know if they need that. Joined by my buddy Connor today, who you may have seen on our socials and on the show here, filled in for us when Lisa and I were on vacation. Connor, welcome back, and thank you for being here.
Long-time listener, first-time listener. I'm just happy to be a part of the show, Ryder.
Good. Well, I needed you for 1K wordplay today, so I tried to do it by myself on Monday. Terrible time.
Very hard to keep a secret from yourself. Very
exactly. Difficult. So thank you for being here. I wanted to talk a bit about these new stats that are out about having a time at a music festival.
Okay.
Getting a little lucky at a music festival.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with me asking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could say that I've gotten lucky at a music festival before.
Okay.
I, don't want to be crass, but one time I did order 8 orders of green onion cakes, and they did only charge me for the first 2. Pretty lucky.
According to these stats, 1 out of 5 people that have attended a music festival are reporting that they've had interactions. Lovin'. A little bit of lovin'.
1 out of 5.
Yeah, which, that lines up. I feel like it's a lot more than that looking back at festivals, but maybe people were just lying.
I was going to say that almost feels like too many people. But then again, that says more about me and my lifestyle, and then I remember all of my cool friends that went to music festivals.
Well, you ended up hearing, I think there was a stretch there where a couple of the big festivals in the prairies were like in the top 5 for the most STIs that got passed around, because people were just knocking boots.
Yeah.
Like crazy. So over 50% of the people that said yes, thumbs up, that has happened, it was with a significant other, 16% with friends, 16% with ex-partners, and 38% involving strangers. That feels like there's too many numbers there. I guess maybe some people doubled up.
Oh my gosh, messy.
Yeah.
I hadn't considered.
The only thing about music festival hookups that is like a red light for me is I know the hygiene practices of music festivals, right? Like,
oh, you don't like the water bottles on the grassy, muddy ground getting in your way while you're trying to be intimate with someone, Ryder?
No, I meant more so like I've seen the lineups for the showers and how many people just say like, I'll just skip it.
1K wordplay, powered by A&D Tutoring.
Welcome, A&D Tutoring, brand new sponsor for our favorite segment and yours, the 1K Wordplay. We are joined by Texter 107. Anne-Marie, how are you today?
I'm wonderful.
You ready to win some cash or what?
Oh, let's hope so.
We're going to send Connor out of the room because he doesn't know what some of the buttons do over here.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And then I'm going to give you the 5 words. You tell me the first word that comes to mind for each. We'll invite him back in. He'll play the same game. For every answer that matches, it's $25. But if you get all 5, it's $1,000.
Okay.
And I'll try to be very clear with what the words are. It got a little heated in here yesterday. Are you ready to go?
I am.
I'll start the timer after I give you the first word. And the first word is bottom.
Top.
Thumb.
Finger.
Battery.
Charger.
Theater.
Movie.
Highway.
Speeding.
Speeding?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's get Connor back in here and give away some money. She did great.
Okay, good.
So it's all on you if this doesn't go well.
Easy. Anne-Marie, I'm about to either make or absolutely ruin your day.
Let's go with me. Come on, Connor.
Okay. I'll focus up.
What is the first word that comes to mind when I say bottom?
Jeans. No.
Connor.
No! On the first one?
Top is what she went with.
I'm so sorry. I just immediately thought apple bottom jeans.
Boots with the fur.
With the fur! No!
Oh, what a game.
Oh, Anne-Marie, I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, I better get some money, Connor. Come on.
Yeah.
Not only did I steal $1,000 from you, I've effectively ruined one of the best songs.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Get in the zone.
Yeah.
Theater.
Movie.
Yes, we're on the
Okay.
board. Thumb.
Finger.
Yes, we're at 50. Should have been at 75.
Okay.
Next up, battery.
Charge.
Yeah, we're going to take that. She said charger, I believe, but that is close enough.
Okay.
We're at 75, going for 100. Highway.
Road.
That's a good answer,
That was
even
a
though
tough one. That
you
was
said it like a farm animal.
I felt like a road.
She went with speeding for that one. So.
Okay, it says a lot about you, Ann. I hate to.
Yeah, it does.
Thanks for playing, Emery. And your next chance to play with the return of Lisa Evans tomorrow morning at 7:50. Thank you for coming in, buddy.
Thanks, Ryder.
Got a reminder that it was 5 years ago that I had an incident at work. After the show, I got called into an office. In radio, that normally means, hey, you're fired. Go in and sit down, and received a complaint from a coworker that the food I was heating up at 10 a.m. after our show was a little too pungent. Is that the word? Stinky. The food was stinky, but like good stinky. I mean, I have a smoker at home, so the meat that I reheat, it kind of smells like you got that smoker going again, you know? If I put a salmon on my Traeger, the next day when I heat it up, the aromas are terrific, but they are a little bit smoky. And when you involve fish, I guess that can be a little bit much. Now, here is what rule was implemented 5 years ago. We were not to heat up food that would be considered stinky before 11 o'clock. So they just pushed back. Because 11 seems like a reasonable time of day to have lunch, I guess, whereas 10 doesn't. But for me, I'd been at work since 4 a.m. 10 is what time I'd like to eat, you know? So the deal was made. I believe we settled on 10:30. But I feel like it's still one of the dumbest rules I've ever heard at work, that you can't heat up your food before a certain time because one person in the office, whose office was close to the kitchen, complained about it. Get over yourself. Put in some nose plugs for a minute, you know, or ask for a bite, and then the smell won't feel weird. It'll be delicious. Wanted to ask you, what is the strangest rule you've ever had to follow in your workplace? Taylor says, someone commented on a coworker's bowl of soup in the lunchroom, saying, that's a big bowl of soup. The person flipped out, and we were told we were no longer allowed to comment on other people's lunch. Heck of a rule. I will say, though, that I'd be okay with that rule, because there's nothing to me that's more awkward than when somebody starts asking you questions about what you're having for lunch. Or like when you're heating it up in the microwave and they're over your shoulder being like, what do you got today? Mind your own business. They could ask me any question on the planet and I'd gladly answer. But that one, I'm like, what does it matter to you? You're not getting a bite, Steve. You know? Greg said we had to ask permission to go to the bathroom. I never did personally, and the ladies in the office kind of liked it. I had a bad boy thing going for me. I'm not sure about that, Greg. You think the ladies in the office like that? They're like, oh, Greg's going to take another dump. I don't know. But always good being positive. And Jess says, I worked in a tanning salon that had a water cooler with the big jugs, the like Culligan style, I think, right? We got new ownership and they told us we weren't allowed to drink water from the water cooler anymore and had to bring bottles from home. No water for you.
Next message.
Hey, this message is for Ryder. Most ridiculous rules at the workplace. It was 2007, 2008 that I used to work at a pretty popular gym brand, and our manager had a rule at work that if you noticed one of the front desk staff or one of the personal trainers slipping, not working out great, not eating well, drinking too much on the weekend, and they didn't look good at work, we had to call them out. And then if you got called out, you had to give a reason as to why you didn't look great and what you were going to do to fix it. So we would have a personal trainer named Brian. He'd come into the break room, and our manager would go, look at Brian, getting a little fat. And then Brian would have to, in front of everybody, be like, yeah, sorry, guys, this weekend I had McDonald's on Friday night. I went out drinking with my buddies on Saturday. I'm going to do 45 minutes on the Stairmaster, 30 minutes on the treadmill, and work out with weights 3 times this week to get back into shape. And then our manager would make us all applaud and go, okay, Brian, good work, get back on track. And I'll never forget, my grandpa died while I was working there, and I had to take 3 weeks off of work, and I flew home to be with my family and bury my grandfather. And while I was there, I was doing a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, kind of eating away the feelings. And I got back from burying my grandpa, and I walked back into my first shift back at work. I walk into the locker area to get my stuff, and my manager just goes, wow, look at the fatso coming back to work. What were you doing? And I just told him I buried my grandpa. He said, well, you better get on the Stairmaster. Wish I had that manager now.
That would not fly in 2025. Talking about stupid rules in the workplace. Have you ever had one that you had to deal with? Travis hit us up, said, my wife's work banned stirring your coffee and tea with metal utensils. They must use wood or plastic ones because the tinging noises annoyed one of the staff members. It shouldn't be a rule. It could be a suggestion. Like, hey, we've got these wooden stir sticks now because somebody that we work with doesn't like the noise. If you wouldn't mind, I think most people would respect that. It's when they make it a rule that is just ridiculous. Kyle says, no water bottles were allowed at our desks. Coffee was fine, but water wasn't. Makes no sense. Hannah says, we couldn't wear headphones, but the office radio was blasting country music 8 hours a day, and I wanted nothing more. That's why I quit. All right. And Annie says, we weren't allowed to talk while working, even though we work with our hands. There are some that I don't understand that I've had to deal with in the past, and I just want to bounce this off you, Miles. You spent years in the service industry. Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Were you allowed to eat fries off of customers' plates?
No.
See, there's a stupid rule. I'm not going to eat the fries off their plate before I give them their food or during while they're eating. I'm not going to go up and be like, hey, do you want a refill? Also, can I have a fry? But afterwards, if you're just throwing it in the garbage and they look like a relatively clean person, I would feel comfortable eating a fry or two before disposing of the rest of their food. And I was told that's not allowed.
Oh, no, in most cases it's not.
Well, I know. I feel like that's a stupid rule. Like, I wouldn't have a bite of somebody's mashed potatoes. That's too intimate. But fries, they're like their own little thing. I can tell that fry hasn't been touched. Why wouldn't I eat it?
I can sort of see where you're coming from.
Thank you. I wish you would have been my boss, because they didn't see it that way. You can pretty much learn how to do anything on the internet now. The days of not knowing how to do something are long gone. And if you still use it as an excuse, you're a loser. Or you're me. The biggest winner in Wheel of Fortune history has just won over $1 million in one episode. Here's the moment.
Tavares, right in the butt. No.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong clip.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Ryder and Lisa podcast.
Thanks for being a part of the Ryder and Lisa community. If you liked hanging out with us, don't forget to subscribe and share the laughs with your friends.
Powered by Always Plumbing and Heating.